Welcome to Phrasal Verb Practice. This is the place to learn real English, one phrasal verb at a time. My name is Marissa, and I'll walk you through this learning journey. Hi everyone! I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to learn and practice the phrasal verb fill in. So, let's talk about what fill in means. First, there's a very common way we use fill in. When we say fill in, we mean to add missing information. Usually, this is written information. For example, please fill in your name and email address. I forgot to fill in one question on the form. Can you fill in the blank with the correct word? Now, there's another meaning you'll hear a lot. We also use fill in when someone replaces another person for a short time. It's about taking someone's place temporarily. For example, she asked me to fill in for her at the meeting. He's sick today, so I'll fill in as manager. Can you fill in while I'm on vacation? So, what's the idea that connects these meanings? Basically, fill in is about completing something that's missing. Sometimes it's information. Sometimes it's a person. Now, let's look at what fill in means in other languages. In Spanish, we usually say completar or rellenar. In French, people say remplir or compléter. In Portuguese, it's preencher. In Italian, it's compilare or riempire. In German, ausfüllen. In Japanese, kinyu suru. And in Chinese, tianxie. Now, let's think about when people actually use fill in. People use fill in when they need to complete a form or a document. Some information is missing. Someone can't be there, and another person takes their place. This happens a lot at work, at school, and in daily life. Let's quickly review with some clear examples. Please fill in all the required fields. I'll fill in the details later. She had to fill in for her coworker. He was asked to fill in as team leader. Don't forget to fill in the last section. Now, let's talk about how fill in works grammatically. Fill in is a separable phrasal verb. That means the object can go after it or in the middle. For example, please fill in the form. Please fill the form in. When the object is a pronoun, it has to go in the middle. So we say, please fill it in, not please fill in it. The usual structure is fill in plus an object. That object can be information, a document, or someone's role. Now, let's practice together. First, you'll hear a short text from everyday life. Then you'll hear another text in a professional or office context. Are you ready? Let's start. Yesterday morning started in a bit of a rush. I woke up late and remembered I still had a form to send before noon. I sat at the kitchen table with my coffee and started to fill in my personal details. Name, address, phone number, simple things. Then I noticed I had skipped a question, so I went back to fill in that part before saving the file. While I was doing that, my sister called me. She was already at work and said one of her coworkers didn't show up. Her boss asked her if she could fill in for that person until lunchtime. She sounded stressed, but said yes. She told me, "It's not my job, but I'll fill in just for a few hours." After breakfast, I drove my mom to a doctor's appointment. At the reception desk, they handed her a clipboard and asked her to fill in a short form. She laughed and said she forgot her glasses, so I helped her fill in the answers. It didn't take long. Later that afternoon, my neighbor knocked on my door. He was going out of town and asked if I could fill in for him and feed his cat for the weekend. I said sure. It felt nice to help. In the evening, I met some friends for dinner. One friend arrived late and asked what she had missed. We quickly filled in the details of the conversation so she wouldn't feel lost. She smiled and said, "Thanks for filling me in." Before going to bed, I checked my email again and realized I had forgotten to fill in one last section on that form from the morning. I opened it, fixed the mistake, and finally sent it. It felt good to know everything was complete and that I had managed to fill in wherever something was missing during the day. Great, that was the first text. How many times did you hear the phrasal verb of the day? Now, let's move on to the second text. The day started with an unexpected change. When I arrived at the office, I saw a message saying our team lead was sick. During the morning huddle, my manager asked me to fill in and run the meeting. It wasn't planned, but I agreed and opened the agenda so we could stay on track. After the meeting, I checked my inbox and saw an email from finance. They needed me to fill in a few missing numbers on a shared spreadsheet before noon. I opened the file, reviewed the data, and took a few minutes to fill in the empty cells so they could move forward. Later that morning, HR sent a reminder about an internal form. I had already started it earlier in the week, but I hadn't finished it. I took a short break and went back to fill in my emergency contact details and submit everything before the deadline. Around lunchtime, a coworker stopped by my desk. She was heading out for a client visit and asked if I could fill in for her and monitor incoming emails while she was gone. I said yes and made a note to keep an eye on anything urgent. In the afternoon, we had a project review call. One section of the report was still incomplete, so the project manager asked me to fill in the action items during the discussion. I typed as we talked and updated the document in real time. Before wrapping up the day, my manager checked in again and asked if I could fill in the next morning while the team lead recovered. I agreed. Before logging off, I reviewed my final report and realized I still needed to fill in the conclusion. Once that was done, everything felt complete, and the team was ready to move ahead. Great! That was the second text, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for following this channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!